Imagine a modern metropolis operating in absolute silence. Neon billboards are gone. Instead, skyscrapers are carved with glowing cuneiform, the writing system of ancient Mesopotamia. Hammurabi operated as humanity's first software engineer, writing a mass control algorithm in basalt instead of silicon. Standard history praises these 282 laws for establishing a public standard of conduct, ostensibly to protect the weak from the strong. The mechanics of the code tell a darker story. It operated as an inescapable trap. Hammurabi assumed he could freeze his specific version of authority in time forever. By etching his exact demands into indestructible stone, he built a static prison. The rules could never adapt to an economy or a society that evolved past his lifetime. Hammurabi started with a minor city-state, utilizing calculated psychological warfare. Through heavy debt leveraging, he managed to swallow the rest of Mesopotamia, building a massive empire. His strategy was driven by a deep paranoia. He obsessed over order, and he deeply distrusted the subjectivity of the heirs who would eventually replace him. He engineered a concept we can call solid power. He removed the burden of human interpretation entirely by declaring a single physical manifestation of his rules as the absolute truth. You can see this preserved on his diorite stele. The dense rock yields to nothing. But permanent rules create vulnerability. When law requires no interpretation, the ruler becomes a mere bureaucrat servicing his own system. Hammurabi designed a machine that could execute his exact will without his daily input. In doing so, he engineered his own irrelevance. Consider the year 1754 BCE. Imagine the moment before the stone is consecrated. An advisor begs the king to leave a blank space for future amendments, knowing that droughts and wars alter the value of grain and life. Hammurabi refuses. If he had listened, he would have discovered liquid power. He would have dropped the chisel and established a living code. This diagram maps the two approaches. Solid power is a rigid block. Liquid power is a fluid network of shifting decrees. Instead of fixing prices, he could regulate daily behavior with the exact flexibility modern banks use for interest rates. Absolute control relies on the exclusive daily right to redefine what is forbidden. If Hammurabi had embraced economic adaptation over rigid law, the timeline shifts drastically. Fast forward to an alternate 2026, where a corporate Babylonian state has simply absorbed the globe. The Roman Empire never forms. Its early European ancestors are quietly suffocated by Babylon's mastery of advanced debt slavery, erasing centuries of Mediterranean conflict. In our timeline, centuries of conflict over fixed sacred texts created the stagnation of the Dark Ages. Without those ideological deadlots, Babylonian scientific progress compounds without interruption, launching the technological timeline forward by 2,000 years. But society is brutally optimized. Citizens are strictly divided by their utility quotient, a dynamic metric scoring their exact economic and social value to the state. AI-driven courts read your biometric data, and if you consider a crime, the algorithm automatically deducts the blood money from your digital wallet. By remaining fluid, this empire easily survives the rise of new eras. It survives forever by molding perfectly to the container of the present moment. Returning to our actual reality, the Babylonian Empire eventually collapsed. Hammurabi tried to stop time by trapping his ambition in a text, guaranteeing his own system's eventual obsolescence. Power is a liquid. To endure, it must remain fluid enough to flow into the unpredictable gaps that reality leaves behind. The lesson for any modern architect of systems is simple. Never record your rules on a medium you cannot erase. We like to believe that static law acts as a shield to protect us. We rarely realize it is just the fossilized skeleton of an ancient king's ambition, a structure that simply forgot how to die.